I am going to show you how to count the number of specific characters in a cell. It's not that hard. You can actually do it with formulas, although I have seen people overcomplicate this and start to use macros and whatnot. But you don't need to do any of that. So for example, I'm going to go over here to B2 and I'm going to type in a sentence. Let's do this is an excellent sentence. Beautiful. Make this a little bit wider. So the goal is I need to count how many E's are in this is an excellent sentence. So how do you do that? We're going to use the substitute function. What the substitute function does is that it basically substitutes something for something else. But we're going to use it in a very clever and creative way. Now, once you get the hang of this, you can do this in one step. But for the purpose of teaching, I'm going to do it in 2 or 3 steps, and then we can put it all together. So the first thing we got to do is we have to get the baseline. How long is that sentence in terms of characters? So over here in D2, I'm going to put equals len. That gives you the length of a text. So click on B2, close the parentheses. So it is 29 characters long. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use substitute to remove all of the E's. This is how you do that. Equals substitute. There's substitute. There's my open parentheses. So the text that I'm going to manipulate, which is in B2, I'm going to put a comma. The old text, or the original text that I want to replace, which is going to be the E. You can't type the E like that. It's not going to work. For text, you have to put it within quotations. So now substitute is going to look for an E, type a comma. Now what is the new text? Well, I could replace it with a dash, or I could replace it with an A, but that's not the point. I mean, that's how you would use substitute, but the clever thing that we're going to do is we're going to replace it with nothing. So you put 2 quotations right next to each other with nothing in between, and that means an empty or nothing. And this instance number would be if I wanted to replace the third E or the second E with something else, I would use that. In this particular use case, we don't need that, but that's how you would use that. Close the parentheses, and now what I have is this is an excellent sentence, but without the E's. Okay, now what I got to do is take the length of that substitute, and now you probably see where we're going. The original sentence is 29 characters long. Without the E's is 23 characters long. So you would basically take 29 minus 23, and that is the number of E's. So how would you put this all together? Well, you just combine all of the formulas. Instead of doing len E2, I can just nest this right here and put len of the substitute. Oops. That gives me 23, and I want to do the subtraction, right? Because this is the len of B2, so I can come over here and do, right after the equal sign, len of B2, parentheses, minus. So now we can, now that we have everything else, we can get rid of these. And this is the number of E's that are in this is an excellent sentence. To change it, it's pretty simple. Instead of E, let's pretend that I want how many, I don't know, how many I's. There are 2 I's. So that's it. That is how you count the number of characters in a string in Excel. No macros needed.